Oh, what a Monday. What a Monday it is. Happy Monday, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for the PWBA podcast right here, not only on Bowl TV today, but Bowl TV, Facebook Live, of course, the PWBA Facebook page, as well as the Sport of Bowling USBC YouTube channel. So it's a great day for bowling. It's a great day, for the PWBA podcast. A little dancing today. I'm excited. Aaron, how are you, my man? I know you had some things. We were sweating some things out, but all is well.
Hello, Emil, and hello, everybody watching. As always, introducing some new elements here. So there was a little extra anxiousness to get going today, and always some last-minute things. Technology is undefeated, it appears, except when it doesn't work. But it appears we're up on YouTube, Facebook, and BowlTV.com. So I'm happy, excited, and I'm ready for another great show.
Indeed, and the one thing we will try to manage today is we'll keep in mind how to do it as we move forward. But we normally take questions, of course, through the Bowl TV chat, but we will try to take questions through the additional platforms as well. So if your question does not get asked or answered, we will try to find a way to have our guests do that at some point for you. And speaking of our guest today, well, it's no better way to really start your Monday than to hang out with CLARA Guerrero today. We've got a great video to introduce her. CLARA coming off an excellent 2019 season after a couple of years where she battled an injury or two, and I would definitely say she was back to full strength last year, and it showed very early on in the season, as we will find out here. Aaron, set us up.
All right, this clip is from the 2019 USBC Queens 10th frame in an incredible match against Tanya Ramanpur of Indonesia. So CLARA stepping up in the 10th. We'll take a look at her first shot here.
One title for CLARA on the 16 Players Championship. It was a major. Long time.
Dave Ryan, Kelly Kulik, North Rock Lanes, Wichita, Kansas,
Indeed.
CBS Sports Network.
Familiar backdrop for CLARA as well. We'll talk about her collegiate days throughout the podcast as well.
Is this her night? It's firm inside.
Oh,
Nice shot.
perfect. Great shot there from CLARA. Coach V in the background, Coach L as well.
Shuts out Tanya.
Very cool. We'll get the replay, slow motion.
Just slightly inside target, but because her firm was a bit where speed,
There it is.
the ball maintained.
All right. Well, that was a great way to start it off.
Wasn't it?
And without further ado, let's bring her in. Hello today, CLARA.
Hello, Aaron and Emil. Thanks for having me today.
Thank you for joining us. How are you? How's things going in Austin?
I have been pretty good. To be sincere, I have been taking advantage of this difficult time and just enjoying being home. This is something that I don't get to do very often, and especially in the last few years. So I have been, taking advantage of my time here with my husband, doing little projects here and there, and then, trying to stay sharp for whenever we can resume activities.
Oh, of course, and that's great to hear. Hopefully everyone doing well in Colombia as well, your family over there. Any reports of kind of how things are shaping up down there?
Yes, well, in Colombia, they have controlled the situation very well from the start. Their quarantine rules, let's say, were very, very strict. They were not able to leave the house at all, or you would, get a ticket that it was quite expensive. You could go to the grocery store according of the last number of your ID, and many, many, many rules. And it seems like they have been able to control it quite well. My family is doing good. They haven't left the house at all. I call them all the time to make sure they don't, just in case. So they have also been enjoying their time at home, doing a lot of watching TV, Netflix, and stuff like that. And they're safe, they're healthy, and that's what matters right now. So thanks for asking. They're doing okay.
Excellent. We love to hear that. And obviously, everyone kind of staying home. Things are starting to open up a little bit. But I know the one thing we all want to get back to is bowling. And, last week on your fan page on Facebook, you showed a pretty cool little drill. It looked like you were doing in your gym or garage. We actually have that queued up here. So we'll go ahead and
Let's share it.
we'll share that in a second.
My
So-
secrets.
It's pretty serious. It's
So
pretty
we-
serious, and just the time it took to build that, I'm looking at it like, wow.
Yes.
So we'll get this going, but it looks like a few different drills to
Yeah, so what I'm trying to do is practice the same way I do at the bowling center. So I always do the foul line drill, then I do the one step, then I go to a 3-step approach, and that's the way I warm up every time. I'm practicing, and I'm trying to do some things here. Now, as you guys can see, I have a mirror in front, and that has been of huge help. I have been having some issues with my swing. And the first few weeks during quarantine, I was just doing drills inside the house in front of a mirror. And I was just, paying attention about my shoulder. My right shoulder tends to rotate and open up, and my hand gets in a not very good position at the top of my swing. And I have been working on that, or I was working on that before the tour season, right? Started. And then, quarantine started. I look at myself in the mirror, and it was already rotating. And I was like, oh, no, I have not been bowling for a week, and this is already a mess. It's cannot be happening. So I started to be a little bit more disciplined with my practice at home, and the mirror has been huge help. Then after maybe 3 weeks or so, I heard Maria was going to get some wood and install like a lane in her garage. And I was like, oh my God, maybe I need to do that. And then Nathan Porter, you guys all know, he was like, I think you can do it in your garage. I remember that the floor is quite soft, or whatever, smooth. And I was like, no way. And I went immediately to the garage. I put my bowling shoes on, and I was able to slide. So from there on, obviously I set up everything. I have a very nice gym in my garage. That's a funny story that I will share in a little bit. But I put the boxing bag in the bottom, and I have pillows around. I put the mirror, I kind of hang it from the cage. And I have been able to, slide to the whole entire approach there. And it has been very helpful. Now, the first week first week and second week, I was going hardcore, like 70 shots, 90 shots, 100 shots. I was like, I'm going to stay sharp. I'm practicing from home. But then my knee started to hurt a little bit. So I had to call my coach from Colombia and, tell them that I wasn't going to be able to bowl that much in my garage, because obviously it's a different floor and it wasn't as smooth in my body. So right now I'm doing it more like 3 times a week. So I might do drills in the house, or, small movements, and obviously exercising a lot, but bowling, like in the video, only 3 times a week.
I do have a follow-up from watching that in the 3-step and the full approach. It looks like you're wearing your bowling shoes, as you mentioned. Are you more of a planter though? Or were you still creating a little bit of slide there, just for the folks at home? We wouldn't want them going full speed just in case. So I was curious.
Yeah, no. So again, just because of the material of the floor in my garage, I'm able to slide. Not the same as in the bowling center, but it's long enough. So if you maybe see the video again and slow it down, you can see that I'm sliding. However, again, it's not necessarily probably very recommended, because my knee started to hurt a little bit. But yes, I'm able to slide, and I'm able to use the bowling shoes. I'm not even having to use a very slippery sole or anything. I believe I have like the 6 on and a very good heel. So it's just a pretty smooth floor. So I'm just lucky with that.
Shameless, not shameless plug, but I've actually a smart plug of, hey, make sure you got the right bowling shoes. There are plenty out there that allow you to change your soles and heels and such for purposes like this. You probably didn't think you'd need to do it for your garage at some point for a quarantine situation, but that's why you have bowling shoes with interchangeable soles and heels. We're also curious about the home gym itself, because it looks like you took some time and, obviously planned it out. So how long did it take to put the home gym together, and then kind of what's a typical workout like for CLARA?
Well, it has been a process. I have a funny story about this. In 2014, I was asked to do one of my routines for Self Magazine. I don't know if you guys know this. And I was a member of the 24-Hour Fitness. So I went actually with Maria. She was going to take the photo, and we asked permission to go in and take just a couple of photos of me doing an exercise, and they didn't allow me to do it. They were like, I'm sorry, you cannot take photos. And I'm like, oh, but I'm a member and this is for a magazine. And I believe the next day I was leaving the country. So I didn't have time like to call anyone or anything like that. And they said, no, I'm sorry, you cannot. And I got so mad. The crazy Latina came out. It was crazy. And I called my husband and I said, okay, I'm canceling our membership. They're not even allowing me to go in to do an exercise. And I'm buying this gym. So I went actually to Dixon Sporting Goods and I bought the Bosso ball. I went to Maria's apartment and we took the photos next to the pool, and that's how I sent the photos. But so we started our gym with the Bosso ball. That was the main thing we bought. And then slowly through the years, so it has been around 6 years, 7 years, we make sure we buy something new. My husband loves to work out also. We already canceled the membership, so so we were going to have to do something. So we bought the treadmill first. Then he was really into lifting, so we bought the cage. And then maybe we will take advantage of like Black Friday, special.
Oh, yeah. Smart.
And then that way we bought a lot of weights and everything that we needed. And then after so many years, we have a beautiful gym. And I was perfect for quarantine. I never thought it was going to be so useful. And I'm loving it, to be sincere. I'm very, very fortunate. During these times, I have been increasing my workout and knowing that I wasn't really gonna compete, I started to do some other exercises to get a little bit stronger, a little bit bigger, increase my muscle mass. One of the main things is that I contact Heather DeRico from Ball Fit. She is amazing, and she developed a plan for me, and I'm really, really enjoying it. I have noticed the difference. I feel much stronger, and I really try to do a lot of things that obviously will make my lower body strong, my core is strong. And so lifting a lot of weights, a lot of exercises that are like for lateral balances and cardio. So that's kind of what I do, but the gym comes pretty helpful. It's pretty helpful.
Has anyone asked you now to borrow your gym space to take the photo or a photo for a magazine? So has this situation jumped around yet or no?
No, not yet.
Not yet? Okay.
But maybe sometime. You don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got everything you need to have at the gym spot. So nice job by you and Josh. Speaking of bowling, and well, we talked about, obviously we watched your video, but last year you made a big change in regards to using or not using a wrist support. And obviously it looked pretty good certainly from where we were sitting most of the time. So with a whole season complete, kind of how would you assess the change, and or did you plan to add anything new, of course, for this season?
Well, Emil, and you know this, like Aaron too, it was a big risk. And I made the change wanting, obviously, to be better, trying to get closer to what my A game is. With the wrist support, I felt like I was trapped a lot of times during the other seasons, and I wasn't really going to be able to change my game and become, as strong as Maria or Daria or Verity and play the lanes like they do. But I could get closer to something like Liz and Danielle and try to go back to what I'm best at. So that's the reason why I took off the wrist support. For people that might not know, I bowled most of my bowling career without a wrist support. In Wichita, without a wrist support. I was a world champion without a wrist support. And then it was after I went to the PBA Women's Series, after 2 of them, that I decided, like, maybe I should try this. Maybe I should put it on because a lot of the girls have it. And then so I had it for a little while. So for me, that decision was a big risk, but I also felt confident because in the past I also did bowl without it. Okay. Now I did not know how it was gonna go, and my reps were very worried. Everyone was worried around me, to be sincere, but it went great. Last year was one of my best years in my career. I mean, we won the World Championships, winning the Pan American Games, and then I finished 15 points in the PWBA season. I made a couple of shows, was very close to win. Obviously, I didn't, and that was unfortunate, but I was close and I was happy with my performance. And this was even missing one of the tour stops. So if I try to be very objective about how to see that change, I would say it was positive. Okay. And one of the main things is that I'm able to do some of the small tweaks, and that with the wrist support I couldn't. Okay. So I think that plays that's huge, and foul line adjustments and things that would make me a better player. For this season, I was ready to go again without the wrist support. I did make a couple of changes again. I was trying to work on my swing, and I'm still working on my swing, having a better position of my hand at the top of the swing, and that way have a better position in the bottom for my release. So I was working on that and a little bit of the rhythm of my footwork. Okay, create a little bit more speed with my feet, and that's what I'm still doing. I'm still working on that. But yeah, so far I think it was great, and I'm gonna continue on without it for now.
Awesome.
And there is an excellent interview here on Bowl TV on the Backstage channel from the On the Road podcast, Clara and Emil back at East Hartford last season. So be sure to check that out after you're done here for a little more insight on that. But since we're talking about, some great performances on the PWBA tour, obviously your win at the Players Championship in 2016 got to be a highlight. So let's talk about that for a little bit. But first, let's cue up your winning moment from that event. I believe it was Green Bay, right?
Green Bay, yes.
When this delivery shoot knows it means a lot. There is a 25-second shot clock.
Against the great Liz Johnson in the title match.
One frame, one shot at a time.
Could get 10 here. She does. 19 years. Team Colombia. All-American at Wichita State. So many accolades. World championships, but never PWBA tour title.
Not gonna lie, I had that bowling ball too. So
Awesome ball.
big fan.
Awesome ball. I still have a few blanks.
Needs 8.
Looks good.
How about all time? And how about a championship for Clara Guerrero? She has won the Go Bowling PWBA Players Championship.
I feel incredible. This is definitely a dream. I have worked so hard for this moment, and just can't believe it's here, but extremely happy.
Very awesome, very awesome.
Amazing day. Definitely a dream. It's my only title. The fact that it was a major makes it even more special. And there is a lot of special things about that TV show. I made a show with my very good friend Stephanie Nation, or Stephanie Johnson. I always say Nation. She knows. Hard for me to change that. She'll be my nation forever. And then Shannon O'Keefe, of course, one of the best players and a good friend. And then Liz Johnson, the best ever. So having to experience that at my first title against them was just very beautiful. It was very exciting the way I got to the show. In the game before position round, I shoot 159. I was in the show, and then I shoot 159 and I get out. And I had a, very strong talk with Rob Gottschall. He's like, you can do this, come on, you still have one more game. And I needed to make a big change. I mean, I just shoot 150, trying to bowl my best. And I was like, okay, and his position round, and I had to bowl against Steffi. Rocio was very close. They were all bowling very good. They had a good ball reaction. And obviously, as the games went on, my reaction wasn't as good, right? And for some other players, the reaction was pretty good. Because of how we bowl. So at that position round, I shot 254. We made a huge change. We moved left, we bowled down, and it just worked out great. And that's how I made the show. So it was very, very exciting. And then my husband was there. Again, I got to bowl with Steffi. I got to bowl with Shannon. The finals against Liz. It was just beautiful. And the fact that I won, obviously, was pretty awesome. Great memory.
What did I feel like Josh is right where he needs to be whenever is a big moment. I always see him. So what's it like to have him there and for those real special moments?
Yes, he doesn't get to travel very often with me because of his job, and we decided that we were not going to take more vacations when I was bowling because it wasn't as fun for him. So we tried to use his vacation time for like family trips or go to something fun. But it has been incredible, the fact that he has actually been there when I have bowled the best. Like, that title, or even last year in Wichita. We met in Wichita State. We both bowled for college there. We had queens there. So I was like, hey, why don't you come down? We see friends. We get to see the coaches. And he's like, yeah, sounds good. And then I made the show there, and it was an amazing week. So maybe I should bring him more often.
I think so.
Maybe that's the problem. That's my problem.
We can get him a little spot next to us at the Bowl TV booth for a little bit. So when you cross the live stream pair, we'll have him hang out there.
Awesome. That'll be great. But again, back to your question, it's great when he's there. I try to enjoy, our time together, even though I'm more focused in bowling than anything else. But having his support is just very important, and it just, it has been nice that he has been there in the big moments.
Very awesome. And another big moment, you kind of mentioned it earlier in the show, the World Bowling Women's Championships last year in Las Vegas. Obviously, the big event for every country coming into that is the team event, and Colombia was able to capture the gold for the first time. So we got no video for this time, but we got this great photo of
beautiful
the team right there with the gold, and I'm sure that tasted good. But obviously that was that had been a goal for a long time, and that was the breakthrough win for Colombia at that event. So just talk about that week and being able to take home the gold against such an incredibly strong field.
Yes, definitely a dream for all of us. For so many years we were so close with different teams. I'm definitely the older of that group, but in '99 in UAE we finished second. In 2003, we finished. In Malaysia, we finished third. Then in Hong Kong, we finished third. And so many times we have been so close, but then in the finals, we were not able to put it together. Or we bowled good, but their team simply just bowled better. And, we were always so close, but never there. This week in Vegas was just amazing. Obviously, we have the world champion over the all events with Maria. We were able to medal in almost every competition. Like we went to the finals in doubles, but we were again short. We both finished with the bronze medal. Then Maria, Juliana, and I made it in trios. And then we finished silver. And we're like, oh my God, we are so close. And again, we are just not able to get this goal, right? But we feel like that was something important or a key to our success in team, which was that we bowled on that pair a few times before. And we tried to do different things strategy-wise, and they didn't work. We got to know that pair very good. We were a little bit more confident when it came to the team event semis and finals because we bowled there a few times. Maybe if that would have been the only time in the semifinals, we would have lost and made the same mistakes as we did in doubles. Okay, so I believe it was kind of like a learning experience through the week, and that was huge for our success. But at the end of the day, you're bowling against Team USA. The first match, you might have a great strategy and still lose because they're amazing, right? They're some of the best players in the world. So we were just very fortunate to have had the right hits when we needed them, to throw the great shots when we needed them. The final match against Sweden, we are tied, literally. We are one pin behind. And for us to be in that position, Rocio had to strike in the 8th. I had to strike in the 9th to give Maria the chance to still be one pin behind. So it was the most stressful and exciting moment. I cannot compare it to anything, to be sincere. When you're bowling with your team and for your country and you are in that moment, it just feels incredible. The energy of the team, the support that we had, knowing that we were so close, it was just beautiful. Able to perform, we obviously made it better. And the fact that Maria struck and we won, it was just the most exciting moment. I will never forget it. And the biggest accomplishment for all of us, winning a team medal, gold team medal, is just very hard to do. And we are very happy that we got it.
Let me ask, sorry, Aaron,
Oh, no problem.
I saw you, and so let me get this in before. What does it mean if you can describe? We hear, whether it's Team USA, obviously Team Colombia in this situation, could be other athletes in various sports. Always talk about what any medal means, let alone a gold medal to their respective countries. So, what does that mean to Colombia as a whole for you guys to bring that back to your country?
It's huge. I mean, for the federation, it's huge. If we are going to talk about what it brings to bowling, the Olympic Committee sees us each time differently, even though most of us are supported by the Olympic Committee. We all have a salary. We all have to perform. We have some goals through the year. So if we're going to talk about that, we accomplish our main goal.
Sure.
So we are secure to be on our salary for an extra year as world champions. So that's huge for us. And that allows us to be able to just bowl for a living. That support that they give us. For the federation also, because we get more support from the Olympic Committee, better, economic support for developing schools of bowling in the other towns and stuff like that. So that was huge. And for the country itself, just we were in the news, we were everywhere. Maria was also, because she had a beautiful week, winning many medals in that World Championships. So, people in Colombia get to recognize us more and got to see other sport. They know now that bowling is strong and that we have a great team, but every year that we have something like this, an accomplishment that is so big, it kind of makes it even more, firm, more like a fact, let's say, that we do have a great bowling team. So for the country, it was great, and for our federation also.
Excellent.
I have a cool story if you guys don't mind.
Go
absolutely.
right ahead.
We like it.
This is the podcast for stories. We love stories.
I wore this jersey for a reason. So this jersey is used in cycling, and it was a gift from Angie, our teammate, Angie Ramirez, to all of the girls that were part of the team that won the World Championships last year. It's called the Rainbow Jersey, and it's given in cycling to the reigning world champion.
Oh, nice.
So it was a beautiful gift. I was hoping to be able to use it on tour, to wear on tour with my teammates, to talk to Rocio and Maria and kind of select which day we were going to wear it together. We are the reigning world champions on tour. And now we are not even bowling. So I was like, I'm going to wear it in almost every live event I have because it's beautiful. I get to wear it this year. And it was an amazing gift from Angie. We all have it. So that's a quick story right there.
Well, we appreciate you sharing that. I mean, you should wear that, obviously. I mean, I would tell you to wear it every day, but then, there's laundry to do and that kind of thing. But we are very happy that you decided to share that with us today as well.
Thank you. It would be kind of weird if I start wearing this every day in quarantine.
I mean, you are a world champion, so I feel like that's the basis, right? Hey, did you wear that yesterday? No, don't worry about it. I'm a world champion, so.
I'm gonna do some work in the backyard. I'm gonna pick up some weights. I'm just gonna wear my cool jersey.
Well, once bowling starts, I'm gonna be looking for that jersey, and at least I'll know the backstory, and I'll be able to tell that story again on Bowl TV.
Yes, it's a cute story.
Very much so. I was just going to go, and you kind of talked to it in that last response, but Maria had a fantastic week, and when you were kind of describing leading up to the 10th frame to give her the opportunity to win it, I remember watching that live, and you get goosebumps watching great bowling like that and great bowlers perform in that situation. But just talk a little bit more about her week. That was really such a fantastic performance. What was it like to see her take it to the next level?
It was beautiful. I mean, it was definitely a dream. I was sharing. She was my roommate during that week, and she had an amazing ball reaction. She performed very well. She made the right decisions. But at the end of the day, you're bowling against the best in the world. You could have a good ball reaction and don't even win or medal. And she was able to perform day after day. And it was just beautiful to watch. I believe that she's a very disciplined player, very committed, very talented. The experience that she has gained through the years bowling on tour, she obviously is older, having more experience maturity, or however you say that, is what what it takes for you to be able to perform that well. She was obviously our anchor for the team. After the week, she had the best ball reaction of the team for sure. So we knew she was going to be able to perform well when we needed to. She also had the confidence that she had a good room and a good area. But at the end of the day, she needed to strike. So, and you could throw a great and maybe no strike. So we were very stressed. But, it came our way, and it was very beautiful, very exciting.
I want to take the quick moment just to thank everybody watching us on Bowl TV, YouTube, and the PWBA Facebook page. If you have some questions, please drop those. We are able to keep a tally on some of the live comments that are coming in. So, and actually, some of the questions that many of you have asked have been answered earlier in the podcast. So, once this is over, be sure to check out the replay as well. Clara from we talked about Pan Am gold in singles last year. You had Pan Am doubles victory in 2015 with Rocio. You got 2 World Cup victories. Obviously, we just talked about the World Championship. Is there any event left kind of on your bucket list as a member of Team Colombia at this point?
No, to be sincere, we have had an amazing career. And personally, I have to with the national team. In 2017, I got to win the gold medal at the World Games with Rocio. That was probably one of my biggest dreams, like win the World Games. That's our Olympics, okay? And then I got to do that. And the only thing that we were truly missing as a team was the World Championships, the team medal at the World Championships. And we got to accomplish that together last year. So, we have done the Pan Am Games. We have, personally, I have won the World Championships, but we had also won as a team the Pan American Championships, South American, Central American. So we have had an amazing team. Very fortunate to be part of it. There is not much more that I can think of that we could accomplish. I think that now is just being able to continue to be a good team together. Okay, to respect each other as players, and we each year get a new member, a younger, player. The chemistry changes a little bit, the experience, changes, and it's just more about being able to work together and still accomplish big things with the team as new members come in. So I think that that's kind of the big challenge that all of the teams have to deal with, and that we deal every year. Our team trials is usually in December or January. We bowl 64 games, 8 games a day.
Wow.
In 2 different cities, 2 different bowling centers, 8 patterns. I mean, it is crazy, okay? And it is, if you make the team, you're top 6, you make it. If you don't, you're out. So it's pretty tough. But because of that, we are lucky to have a lot of good players on top, but at the same time, new members come in, new players come in. And again, we just got to work from zero and try to work well together.
64 games, first of all, folks. So let's just take that all in. And she has been on the team. It is now 24 years.
24.
As a member of Team Colombia. So I don't know how that's possible, and you're only 21 years of age. But just, I mean, if you can kind of sum up what it means to just kind of represent your country for so long, and you talked about, kind of each year, bringing in a younger team member or a new team member, and, gelling and making sure the chemistry is good. You kind of almost have to repeat the process every year in certain situations. So what's that been like?
It definitely has been a process. It has been very beautiful most of the years, but we have had tough years too. When I made the team in '97, and the adult team, I was a baby. I was 15, and all my team was much older, and they were able to mentor me, and we were an amazing team. Okay, but as that changed through the years, it wasn't as easy. Then maybe I became kind of in the middle of the team age wise, and then the oldest and all that, and the different personalities, different egos. It's a process. But at the end of the day, it's beautiful. It's beautiful to work together. It's amazing, and it's all worth it when you are able to perform and then sing your anthem in front of the entire world, receive the medal after so many years of working hard. So it's beautiful. I'm very proud to represent my country. I take that with huge responsibility and commitment. Many of the choices that I have made in my life that have shaped my life, it's because of how good I want to do for my Colombian team. Okay, so it has been everything. Bowling has been my life, but representing my country has been a huge part of that. And I'm very thankful for the opportunities. I have been able to travel the world, meet hundreds of amazing athletes that I have learned from them also a lot. And then I couldn't have done that if I was not part of the national team. So very thankful.
Before I turn it over to Aaron for his next question, and we'll have a few questions from the fans here in a moment as well. In our pre-show, we were talking about the years that you spent on Team Colombia, and you mentioned that there were really just 2 years that you weren't on the team, and each one has a kind of unique story attached to it. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So the first time I didn't make the team was in 2007. And Maria Rodriguez, she was literally like, I don't know, 16 or 17 years old. She threw super hard, super stressed, skinny. I mean, she was, very talented, but very different than how she looks now. And I believe she struck out in the last game of 64 games to beat me and kick me out of the team. And that was the first year that I didn't make it. It was very rough. I mean, to put it nicely, I cried for many hours. It wasn't easy, but I just graduated from Wichita State. I just moved to Austin. There were a lot of changes happening. And at the end of the day, it was a beautiful year for my career. I made the PBA World Series or Women's Series, and I accomplished other things professionally, but it was very tough not to be on the national team. And then 2008, I couldn't go to team trials because I got married. My paperwork didn't arrive on time for me to be able to leave the country. And I'm telling you, it was literally like 5 days off. Like team trials happened in the middle of January, and I got the paperwork like the 28th or 29th of January. So it was very unfortunate, but things that you do also to grow personally and my family, but it was very rough. And then 2009, I was able to go back on the team to, the team trials, made the team. And that's when I won the World Championships in Las Vegas. So it was an amazing welcome back.
Certainly the way to do it. And there's a few, I'm going to use it as my question, even though I've noticed people in the chat putting it because I was thinking it. So I'm just going to take credit for it. But kind of a two-part question. You talked about, the younger players kind of coming along, and, you and Maria Rocio have been on the team for so long. You get to mentor these young players. So who are some of the young and up-and-comers we should be looking out for potentially coming up on Team Colombia and, maybe even the PWBA Tour? And then who are the few of the players you looked up to as you were a young player growing up, kind of making that process?
Yes. So on the national team this year, our sixth player is Juliana Botero. She has been on the youth national team. I believe she won an important medal at the World Championships in Detroit. Very talented, throws a beautiful, amazing player. And she was, a few years in the past very close to make the team, the adult team, but never really kind of got there. And this year she did. So we are very happy to have her. I know she will be very successful, and obviously will be again a process to kind of learn from each other and understand each other as a team. But we hope it's great, and I believe she'll be amazing. If she has the opportunity to come to the United States and bowl some important events on tour, it will be even better, and I believe she'll perform quite well. Obviously, Laura Plazas, she's not as young anymore, but I see her like my little girl, right? And, she's so little too that I'm always going to see her like our baby. She has been able to grow so much as a player. She does bowl some events on tour. She did bowl for Wichita State. She was able to perform great during the very difficult moments, at the World Championships last year in Las Vegas. So I know that as the years go by, she will still be one of the strongest players for the future on our team. So as right now, and there are other ones. I mean, we have Anita Olaya, who bowls for college for Kim Terrell's team. And we have a few other players that are here in the United States. Isabela Correa, that bowls for Sharon O'Keefe. That are extremely talented. They have been on the U.S. national team. Isabella was on the team in the World Championships a few years ago in the adults, but they kind of go in and out. However, we do have a very good talented group for the future. We are all looking forward to see their success. And the other question you had, I always look up to Kim Terrell. She was just amazing. How calm she was, the energy when she was on the shows. I had a poster of her in my room, and it was just a dream to see her. And then overall, I always say that my hero and the person that I admired the most was Amleto Monticelli. But not only because he threw it amazing in the 90s, but also because he's a Latino. So he was just that guy that, wanted to follow a dream, and he was very young and went and fought for it on tour and was very successful. So I was always like, okay, he did it. He came out of Venezuela, and now he's, living his dream. How come I cannot? I'm gonna do the same. So I had him always as that person that I admire very much as I was growing up.
All right, and we have a comment from YouTube that kind of echoes that. So Dave asks, can you keep up with Amleto? Can anybody?
No, not really. Not really. He's just.
Dave's probably talking about his fitness levels.
Yes. Definitely the best athlete that we have. Okay. He has made some decisions since our early age of being very disciplined, be an athlete completely, how strict he is with his diet, with the routine of exercises. It's just beautiful. So it's someone that we should all look up to. At his age, he still looks unbelievable. He still throws it as good. He's very strong. So definitely someone I admire very much. And no, I cannot keep up with him. Working out with him 1 hour. I'm trying to get stronger. And I try to do my best, but he is definitely another level.
And Leto, a great ambassador to the sport, and this is a topical transition to our next subject. So, and Leto, part of the PBA League, which had its fantasy draft yesterday. Very nice job by the folks at Flow Bowling for that. But Clara, if Tom Clark gave you a call tomorrow and said, "Hey, I want to bring an all-PWBA team. You're the manager. You get to pick 5 players. Who would you pick?"
Can I bowl?
Yes.
Yes, you can bowl.
Okay.
You can player manager like Norm.
Yes,
so.
Norm is a player manager.
Yes. Okay, well, I'm going to be the norm of this. Okay, but definitely will have to be Shannon O'Keefe, Danielle McEwen, Liz Johnson, Jordan, Richard, and myself.
Well, nicely done.
That would be my team. That would be my team. Now, if we, when I found out that you were maybe gonna ask this question, I really thought, I was like, no, my dream team will be Kelly Kulik, Leanne Barrett, Karin Dolly-Ballard, Kim Terrell, by myself, right? But if we are going to talk about amazing current players nowadays, it will have to be the team that I just mentioned.
Who would be your anchor?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I mean, when you have Danielle, Liz Johnson, and Shannon on your team, it's going to have to be the person that has the best ball reaction at the moment. I think we are all capable to perform amazing. We have all been in that moment, and we have all, been able to perform. all very disciplined, so I could not think of one being more ready than the other one or training harder than the other one. So it's just going to have to be about how the lanes are playing, especially bowling with the guys. We are probably going to be trying to go, probably as away from them as we can. So you don't know, like maybe Jordan might not have the best ball reaction. Maybe she will have the best because she will be able to keep up with them. So it will have to, be something that happens at the moment. But whoever I pick, it will be
the old closer by committee approach. Okay. All right. Keeping on the theme of the PBA, we've had both Liz and Kelly on the podcast recently. And of course, they each have won a PBA title. But you also have made a TV show on tour a few years back at the World Series. So can you describe that experience? And that might be something that people honestly may forget, that you two have made a show. So describe that experience and what you had to do to overcome to make that show.
Yes, it was definitely one of my biggest accomplishments. Still, I wish I could live it again. It was just totally amazing to be able to. So at that time, and I still is very close to how we do the World Series nowadays. But we bowled a qualifying round, and I averaged around 241 or so, and I made it to the top 24 round. Okay, but I was like in 13th place or something like that. They were very high scorings. It wasn't cheetah. And then during that 14-game round of match play, I averaged 246, and I finished fourth to make the show. But I made it crazy. Like my last 3 games, I shoot 822 to be able to make the show. Nice. So my last game was 277. It was extremely exciting. And having the guys, I remember EJ Tackett was next to me, and he was like right with me. And I was like, okay, I gotta continue. I was only thinking, I have to strike. every frame, I'm like, I really have to strike. This guy, okay, I really have to strike. And that was the only thing I was thinking. And I believe that helped me out to shoot at 270, 260, because the scores were so high. I mean, if you shoot 240, 250, they were getting, tons of views. So I was like, oh my God, you just really gotta continue on striking. I'm trying it harder and harder, and I was changing balls. I was with the Orange Eruption Pro because I didn't want to get farther left and get in trouble, right? And those angle of entry to be able to continue, to strike that match. But, it worked out great. It was very exciting. 822 to make a show against the guys. I mean, what a dream. And then having to bowl with Dasho. I mean, Wes Malott, one of my, greatest friends here in Austin, an amazing player, then having Parker Bond and Pete on a show. So that was just totally amazing. The show itself was a lot of fun. I wish I would have won. I was very close, and I had to, strike in the 10th, and it didn't go my way. There was a little bit inside story about that. At that time, with Columbia 300, we were able to use different bowling balls of the 4 brands, during qualifying. But we were not able to use, we were having to use only Columbia 300 bowling balls during the show. So when we were on TV, we had to, throw the ball or ball with a ball of your brand exclusively. Right. So at that moment, I had an okay reaction, but I was not able to bowl with the bowling ball that I made the show. And we were trying to get a ball that would be as close, but definitely my carry was not the same. And that was, something that I always have in the back of my mind. But anyways, it was a beautiful experience. It was a dream. And, averaging 246 against the guys doesn't happen very often.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was very cool experience. And then if you think about it, I was looking into it earlier. It wasn't like, I did bowl amazing, and it was cheetah, my A game. I was playing, close to the gutter. But the show was Wes Malott. He wasn't playing the gutter, right? No. And then it was Pete. It wasn't like it was my Hagen and Duke and me, and we were all like, you guys were on top of each other. No, I'm bowling against Pete and Wes. So it was an amazing performance, and one of my most memorable days for sure.
Excellent.
I feel Wes has been on a few of those shows, some of the kind of big ones with women breaking
With
through
the
to make the
women.
finals. So I think
He
both
has.
of
Yeah.
yours' appearances ended up with Wes making those shows too. So.
Yes, and we kind of chat about that before the show, and after when he beat me, I was like, I was just being nice. I was just giving you some confidence, man. You can't be that every woman beats you. That's very nice. I flatter was because But yeah, you're right. I believe when this one was against Wes, and maybe in another match with the U.S. Open champions or something like that, Liz Johnson also kind of beat him. So you're right on that.
Well, that's very nice of you, the big Wes there. So
I love
I was very nice to Wes.
dude. Good dude, Wes. Shout out to
absolutely,
Wes.
100%.
Great guy.
All right, Clara, we've been celebrating college bowling a lot this year, and obviously college bowling is a great transition to make it to PWBA, PBA, really gets you ready for that. So obviously as a standout at Wichita State, I'm sure you have some great stories, and we have a video saved up for a little bit later for this.
Oh boy.
But Coach Vatican, one of the greats of all time, retired this past season. So of course, Coach Lewis as well, an all-time great. So I was hoping you could share a fun story about those two guys and what they meant to you as well.
They were very important and a fundamental piece of my career. Their support was incredible. My family was going through a very difficult situation, and we had to make some big decisions for me to be able to move to the U.S. and follow that dream. And the coaches knew about it. And one time I told Coach, I was like, Coach, you have to give me everything you have, like every scholarship you have, because I cannot afford it. And he was always very supportive and trying to get that extra scholarship here and there. So it was easier for my family and for me. So I'm always very thankful. I really wanted to be part of that team. I really knew they had an amazing bowling program, that the coaches were great. Best players, people I admire, Chris, Rick Stillsmith, so many people came out of Wichita. And I just wanted to do it. And they were great. I don't have a specific story that comes to my mind right now, but I can tell you that I was a different player for them. I was definitely different. I have always been a huge believer of practicing a lot. So I practice every day, 7 times a week. And then maybe sometimes during, our tournaments and stuff like that, and our routine in college, I couldn't bowl on Sundays or I couldn't bowl on Mondays. And I would be so off the next day. And the coach is like, it's impossible. It's impossible. You have been bowling for, you're bowling every day of the week. How can you be off? I'm like, it's in your mind. And I'm like, Coach, I promise, I have to practice every day. I'm not going to be able to do it the next day. So they actually had to tell everyone to practice a lot. It's very important. Go the extra mile. And to me, you need to chill. You don't need to bowl every day. So it was completely different, our meetings. To the point that one time, the coach was like, okay, you are not allowed to bowl during the weekends unless we are competing. Just so you can practice and feel more comfortable whenever you are not able to do it. So that was kind of interesting. I don't think they get to do that very often with many players.
That's interesting. Practice. Okay. So you're not Allen Iverson. You were all about practice.
Practice. I'm still I definitely do bowl 7 times a week now, but definitely 5, 6. And if I'm not able to, it kind of, I don't feel the same for sure. So I'm still a huge believer of that.
All right. So before the show today, I was prepping and thinking about this collegiate question. I knew you had won an ITC title, so I started going through it like, what year was that? And it turned out to be 2005.
Yes.
Which is also the same year that the Lindenwood Lions and Emil Williams Jr. won the men's title at the ITC.
Nice. No way. Really?
So, because we have that, I'm very excited to show this clip now. And
Perfect.
Emil froze on us right before. He's got to be here for this. So
He has to be part of it.
he's got to be part of it because it's great.
I didn't know this. That's exciting. Now
So
we share a moment.
You have a moment, yes. Who had the first show that day? Was it? Did they tape the men's or the women's final first?
I cannot recall, but I think it was the guys. The guys first, and then we finish up.
So
But
see, you
I'm
were
not 100%.
focusing on your match then. So you didn't even care what was going on there.
Yes,
So
yes. And we were in the back, or we were practicing, or we were, talking as a group. So I didn't get to see the guys' match for sure. And that's what I'm thinking. We were second, because if we will have, both first and won and be happy and all that, probably I will have had the chance to see the guys, right? Stay and chill with them. But I believe we bought after, and that's why I didn't get to see it. We were just, being together as a team, coming up with a strategy, supporting each other, getting ready. So that makes me think the guys went first.
all right, and we got a team photo from that event as well. So, and we got Emil coming back too. So we'll bring him back in.
Oh,
But there is the
So nice.
2005 Wichita State team. So definitely a lot of talented players on that group. And of course, on the far left, there you are.
Amazing team. Very talented players. I mean, you have Anita Mans, you have Samantha, you have Ruth, you have Caroline Lagrange. I mean, now Bufa. Crystal, one of my very, very good friends, dear friend. She was an assistant coach, but one of the most amazing players. She was part of Team USA. She was on Queen's TV shows. And for many years, she was my roommate when we went to the USBC Queens. So a very amazing team. I mean, Emily, Samantha, so many good players.
All right, and Emil, since you're back, are you gonna stick around for this? Or
first of all, I apologize. These are the last two podcasts. I've just been a nuisance to you all. Ironically, I went to Lindenwood, which is in St. Louis, or St. Charles, a suburb of St. Louis, and my man Nelly was on the versus battle, and he had some Wi-Fi issues, so I don't know if that's got anything to do with it. But let's go with the clip.
All right, the first shots of the leadoff players of both the winning men's and women's teams.
This is fantastic.
WSU.
Shout out to the Cherry Bowl in Rockford, Illinois.
One of his best bowlers on this team came to Kansas all the way from South America.
Clara Guerrero Jr.
Oh, boy.
Colombia.
Guerrero leads off. And that's flush in the pocket for a strike.
Kick the 10. Nice shot.
You can hear the words of encouragement from
It's important to have a good leadoff player.
It is very important.
Enough to allow us to mic them up. Clara, good.
How'd you feel about that shot, Clara?
It feels good. Feels good with the Inferno. Oh my God. Things with that ball, one of the greatest.
Oh man, let's go.
Communication, Chicago, Illinois.
You got the double zoom there.
From here in
Hey, they know what to do.
Duplicate that strike.
Oh, represent.
My strike was better than you.
It was. I was throwing the wrong ball, but I didn't know that at the time. Those are things you learn as you grow as a player.
What an amazing memory! I do not remember this at all. Well, congratulations! What a title!
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. I keep track of those things. Plus, I work here, so this is what we do. Like, we keep track of things. But I do recall most of the women's title match. We got a chance to watch a little bit of it. So all I know is that day was kind of a blur, but I do know who won. So yes. How was that day for you? Like, was it a blur overall? Like, what happened?
It was definitely a blur. There are just so many things that go so quick with the team. We were just very excited to be able to be back on TV. Mm-hmm. But the years passed, we were also there, but we were not successful, right? So we were trying to be so ready. The whole entire year, we were preparing more mentally to be ready for that we were just so eager to do it. And the team came together amazingly. We changed players. Sammy came in the last game, which was huge to win. She's cold. She hasn't bowled in half an hour or more, and then she gets up and throws it amazing. I mean, it was just a dream. So many things happened for us to win that, and to be sincere, you could have an amazing team and not win this tournament.
Absolutely.
It's so difficult. The format, the ways, how you have to ball. It doesn't matter if you have the best players. So, and we knew that. But everyone was so into it that we were just very, very lucky to perform what we needed to. We were ready.
Indeed. I can echo and say that Jesse Scrivens hadn't bowled, I think, almost the entire tournament, but he got the nod on TV and struck almost every time. So, it's an always be ready situation. I told Aaron the second or the first strike in the second game was the better of the two strikes for me, but he enjoyed the intro, so that's the one he went with.
Of course, he had to make us feel amazing.
By the way, both of those shows are available, folks, in the vault on Bowl TV, so you can check out the full show of both Clara and Wichita State and myself and Lyndon Wood. So nice job, Aaron Smith. Nice
You're
surprise.
It's very good
together
surprise.
nicely.
I like it.
All right, Aaron, we're just past an hour. We've got a couple of fan questions, and we can probably end on your favorite question. What do you think?
All right, sounds good.
Okay. Let's see. Clara, Chris asks in the chat, what was your experience like in the Bolero Elite Series, and kind of how did that compare to your tour or other national competition appearances that you've had?
That was a pretty cool tournament. I got to bowl Cal Troop, and it came again to the last shot. I believe it was like 242 against 243 or something like that. But one pin, he beat me. I had to strike at the 10. I 10 pin. But it was very cool. We got to interact with the amateurs. They're all very talented players. Most of them could probably, some of them could go on tour, no problem. And then with the best professionals that we have nowadays in the guys and girls, side. So it was pretty nice. I love the head-to-head matches. I am a very high pressure adrenaline player, and that's when I perform the best. So the fact that it was just a one game, all in or out, it was pretty cool, very exciting. I hope they continue on doing that event. It was very well run. I really enjoyed it. I loved how Tommy Jones won, especially after everything that we have has happened with the industry, Brunswick buying, Ebonite, him being able to use the new ball and balls on TV and winning such a big prize was pretty cool, and I was very excited for him. So a cool experience overall, and look forward to hopefully participate in another one soon.
Excellent answer. Coach Denny asks, any tips or things that you guys? I'll make it two parts. Do you have any tips from the mental game perspective? He coaches a high school team, so are there any tips you can give on that side? And then, kind of, what did Team Colombia do during the World Championship run mentally to help you guys propel to victory?
Okay. So tips, the first tip will be to actually have professional guidance from a sports psychologist, okay? I think that they bring everything you need. And if you already have a team, their experience and their knowledge is just very important. Now, as a player of what I do, there are a couple of things. Every time I finish a tournament, I write down what went well and what didn't go well. Okay, and I try to immediately, as when I finish, to contact either a coach, a psychologist, whoever, to guide me through the process of fixing what didn't go well. Okay, and that's how I have become a more complete, versatile, more experienced player, and I'm constantly changing my game or doing something for the better. So that's not a psychological part, but I believe it's a huge tip that you can maybe do with your kids after a match during the weekend and on Fridays, whenever you guys meet with the other teams. Just write down what was good and what was bad. Okay, and how we can fix it. Now, they need to be, when we get nervous, I think that my tip psychologically is we are all going to be nervous, and you just need to accept it. And we all, even the professionals, world champions, whatever, we all get nervous before an important shot, before a TV show, before an important competition. But it's how we see it. how we channel it to something good. I accept it and I get happy that I'm feeling that way. Okay? If I'm nervous, I'm excited I'm nervous. I'm happy I'm nervous. That's what I want to be. I want to be nervous because that means I'm close to win, right? Or in an important moment of the match or of the tournament. But if I'm relaxed, most likely it's because I'm in the 25th place or I'm last place, right? So I don't want to be relaxed. I want to be nervous. I want to feel my legs shaking. That means I want to shoot 800. I want to shoot 300. I want to win. And you got to see it like something positive. Okay. So if your kids are struggling maybe in how to control that feel, you have to be able to see that differently and not be afraid of being afraid. Okay, does it make sense?
No, that's a great answer.
So I think that is huge. And also the psychologists will help them control their breathing. And there are a lot of breathing exercises that you can do for competition and before competition and before important moments. So that would be my main suggestion.
I like it. One injury-related question. We'll go back 2 years because it happened at the Queens, unfortunately. You had the back injury. Ryan asks, just, what was your mindset and, kind of how you were feeling when you got injured at obviously at the worst possible time, especially when you were having such a good tournament.
Yeah, I mean, devastating. You feel defeated and you feel sad and it's part of our lives as athletes. I actually could say that I'm fortunate that I haven't had many injuries through my career. However, this one definitely came in, bad times. During the Queens, a major, the day before I just shoot a 300, won amazing matches. I'm so close to make a TV show and then I cannot move. So a learning experience, but you have to grow, from those moments. It wasn't easy, but I went to the doctor. I got medicine, therapy. I tried to go bowl a tournament after a couple of weeks. I had to withdraw. I couldn't perform. And then my focus was about getting back to be healthy. What I need to do, how I need to bowl. I did risk it, and I went to the US Open, and I went to other events. I made some changes in my game, and I did whatever it took to continue.
Yeah, you tried a lot.
Yeah, and sometimes it was like at the end of the season, it was a little bit too much. But it's still, you learn from your body, and what I can tell you is that you gotta listen to your body more. Okay, so I maybe could have done a couple of things better during that Queens. We were keeping the bowling balls in the back part of the bowling center of the stadium, which is huge. And if you have been there, you know how much you have to walk. And I always have totes because I like to travel with boxes, like the 4-ball box. So I always have 2-ball totes, and I would just carry them like I'm the strongest woman in the planet. And I learned very quick.
Well, your home gym would ride with you on that. So
yes. So I learned that maybe I had to, carry my bowling balls differently. After that, I ordered the big 3-ball roller. And, I had made some adjustments so I don't get hurt and I can just keep my body healthier, longer, and sharper. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't a happy experience or a happy moment.
All right, we won't be able to get to all of them, but I'll try to keep in those, and maybe we'll have Clara answer some things elsewhere for some social content. Final question: where have you enjoyed traveling the most when you compete?
I love Hong Kong. It's a beautiful city. I love the energy. I love the food. I love the malls, everything. I just really like it. And my first World Championships when I was 14 years old, and an under 23 World Championships in 1996. Don't do the math. But
you're 21, remember?
Yeah. I started bowling when I was like 2 months. But it was in Hong Kong, and Sarah Vargas won the singles medal, and that changed my life. I was like, I want to be like her, and I'm going to work hard to be like her. And I believe I averaged like 175, finished like 76 in the World Championships. That's when I met, Tommy Jones and Robert Smith and some, some of the greatest of our sports. And so I have that. And it shocked me. When you're 14 and you're in Hong Kong, it's just an amazing experience. And then I got to go back in 2011 for the World Championships, Women's World Championships. We won the bronze medal, had a great time with the team. And just every time I go back to that city, it's just very dear to my heart. So Hong Kong has to be my favorite city.
All right. Favorite question time from Aaron Smith.
Very cool. And thank you again to everybody in the Bowl TV community on BowlTV.com, YouTube, and Facebook. Appreciate all the questions. Final question of the day, though. What are the Clara Guerrero binge watch recommendations?
Well, during quarantine, because if not, I'm going to say like Game of Thrones or something like that. I think that show was pretty amazing. But during quarantine, I have been doing some of the documentaries or like Chernobyl. Is that how you say it? Chernobyl? Okay. I thought that was pretty cool. If you guys haven't seen it, you guys have to watch that. I saw the first episode and I just sat down and I finished it at night. I was like, I went to bed, I don't know, maybe 3 in the morning. So that one is pretty cool. And then now I'm catching up with Ozarks.
Yeah, that's popular.
So I have heard, I have seen some things online. And I was like, this is the best show. I'm like, okay, I'm going to start it. And I'm in the first season and it's pretty exciting. So I'm going to be probably enjoying some Ozark the next couple of weeks.
Excellent. Oh, wow. Nicely done. Aaron Smith, any final thoughts?
No, I think we just had another great podcast. So Clara, thank you again so much for joining us. It was an absolute pleasure to see you and chat with you for a little bit. So
thank you.
Once again, please stay safe, and we will be hopefully seeing you soon on the lanes.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Emil.
You're welcome. We hope to see you soon. On Wednesday coming up on the next PWBA podcast, we will get to hear from Clara's great friend and tour roommate, Sandra Gongora, will be on the podcast. So be on the lookout for that. 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Tomorrow you can catch Matt Cannizzaro and Daniel Farish and Inside the OC. I think I might be making a special guest appearance there. We're not sure yet. And then the debut of a new show. It's called PWBA Replay. And we will be re-airing Stepladder Finals on Bowl TV starting with the 2019 season. So obviously we can't bowl at the moment. So let's go back and relive some great moments. We'll start that tomorrow. That'll be at 4 Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Central. So I'll be in the chat with you, hanging out, and I'm seeing you all tomorrow. So for Aaron Smith, Clara Guerrero, my name is Emil Williams Jr. What a fun day. I hope you enjoyed it as well. We'll see you on Wednesday. This has been the PWBA podcast. You watched it live only on Bowl TV. Have a great day.